Thank you for the invitation to speak here today. It is an honour to be a part of the memorial commemorating the life of Fethullah Gülen. I would like to offer my sympathy because this must be a very personal loss for all of you. From my side, my experience of Fethullah Gülen was through the Australian Intercultural Society in Melbourne, which has led the way in interfaith dialogue. For over 20 years, we have worked together to build friendships and a respectful exchange of ideas through seminars, iftars, and gatherings of all kinds. His leadership in establishing the Australian Intercultural Society has been a force for good in the world and helped to build social cohesion in Victoria. He also helped promote the practice of Sufism and Sima or dervish dance, and on several occasions I have enjoyed witnessing dervish dancing here, including at the Malvern Town Hall. I first met with members of the AIS soon after the tragedy of September 11, 2001, and it was very fortunate to be able to start to reverse the narrative of Islamophobia in Australian society. A few extremists had poisoned the good reputation of Islam all around the world, and there was a huge amount of fear and ignorance to be challenged. We needed to get together and find common ground and build friendships. The impact of Fethullah Gülen through the AIS has led the way in promoting the non-violent resolution of conflict through bridge building and eliminating prejudice. Over the years, we have collaborated on numerous projects, not least of which were hosting iftars through the Buddhist Council of Victoria, where we have shared Vietnamese and Turkish food. I have been very fortunate to attend many iftars in the homes of members of the Turkish community in Melbourne. Ahmed and I also sit side by side on the Victorian Multicultural Commission's Multi-Faith Advisory Group and assist the State Government of Victoria to address complex issues of concern and to build cohesion. Incidentally, I have always been impressed by the emphasis on postgraduate education for both men and women that I have found within the AIS. On a deeper level, we as people who take our religion seriously have had the good fortune of finding shared values and beliefs through dialogue. We all have ideas of sacred places, sacred art, sacred texts, and holy people. We share an interest in ethics and spiritual practice. We believe in the oneness of humanity. We all know that this is a particularly difficult time in the world, with war in many countries, the largest movement of displaced people in the history of the world, and with prejudice being promoted by populist politicians. The activity of the AIS has been to build community harmony through friendship. I would like to suggest an analogy for the work of the AIS and by extension of Fethullah Gülen. I lived in India in the 1980s and there learned the difference between allopathic Western medicine and Ayurveda, Indian herbal medicine. Allopathic medicine works with things like antibiotics and chemotherapy to kill the bad bacteria or cancer cells. Ayurveda works to strengthen immunity and improve the basic goodness of the human constitution so that it naturally overcomes the disease. I think that the activity of the AIS is like Ayurveda in that it works to strengthen the underlying goodness of the society, and by increasing the good, there is less place for the bad. So those are my thoughts. Thank you.